What's up, guys? Back to Trash Trades. It's VJ
energy.
here with a lot of energy, and Luca with not much. You didn't even say hi right there. Try to give him
How's
a
it going,
little
guys?
thing.
I'm feeling a little down today, you know.
Yep.
Fortunately,
Actually, that's more energy than normal. Actually, down. He sounds pretty much the same as normal. It's not right, guys. Now, my fucking computer, dude, with the notifications, I hate this whole thing that we're doing. Everything about everything we're doing with the technology, like,
you know, I'll give you a fun
all
fact.
over the place is just trash.
I'll give you a fun fact. VJ's computer is still on Windows 7. He gets those notifications all the time.
I absolutely get everything. I'm not gonna even disagree. I mean, this guy is a Windows master. There's several reasons. Let's just say his family's tied up in the money. This guy's uncle is Bill Gates. Okay, he's telling me about how he's gonna move to Dubai and all this shit and whatever. The Burj Khalifa is gonna be on the outside, and then he tells me how he needs money more than me. Welcome back to the show, guys. A show that's only about trading and our losses. Oh, we really? The show is going off the rails, but it's fucking fine. I'm running on about 3 hours of sleep for the last 3 days. Why? Don't know. Energy, focus, studying. That's what we got to do to win. Isn't that right, Luca?
100%. VJ was already. He was already in the call. Me and him a little back and forth preparing for the episode, and he was rocking some Young Dolph. You know. Like a lot of fucking
let's go.
A lot of beats he had to feel. He was like warming up, you know, he was doing some shadow boxing, he was doing some squats, he was, you know, getting ready for the episode, you know. That's what he does.
Absolutely. I need my hype music. Listen, I'm a man of a lot of musical tastes. You know, I've been playing the piano since I was 5-6 years old. But there's something about the most trapperish of trapper rap music. Just straight music about selling pounds of weed and tons of coke that for some reason get me in the most energetic and focused mindset for whatever. It makes no sense. Like, people like other traders or other people who focus, like, yeah, man, it'd be cool, like, if we lived together. I'm like, if you knew the music that I play just to, like, get in the zone. Like Luca, that music had a different effect on you, I'm assuming. Because Luca was setting up the trade here, and I'm sure he couldn't even think. And I went from, like, half asleep to this guy right here running on straight fucking the flames of hell, the flames of the trap. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. I don't know why Young Dolph does it to me like that. I don't know why me and Cameron... That's like we got the same vibe. It is just what it is.
There it goes again. Windows 7.
I will kill this. I mean, this is incredible. I'm gonna have to do something about this later. You know what? You are the Windows guy. I'm gonna need to defer to you later on. I'm like, what can I do to eliminate that so that doesn't happen? But anyway, we got so off the rails. We have some more trash trade from you from Luca today. But you know, it is the weekend. And like we normally start the show, how you doing, buddy? How's your day been? What'd you eat?
I'm doing well. I had some macaroni and cheese for dinner. It's a little exciting one, a little American. It wasn't like American cheese. It was like proper cheese without hormones and bullshit.
Right.
But yeah, pretty good. I just had dinner before this.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm living the broke life. I haven't eaten at all yet. I'm gonna go see some friends of mine, and then we'll probably grab a bite, and then, you know, then I'll drag myself back, and then try to fucking throw some more fucking ICT in my eyes so it can get better. You know?
Yeah. I feel it.
Should we get to it?
Yeah. No. 100%. I'm ready for the trade. Anyway.
Let's do it. Let's roll the intro.
Order filled.
Come on, Luca.
Beautiful introduction by Vjizzle. Anyway, here you go. This is my trash trade. I think not of the week, but actually it was one of the top just ass trades I've had. And I had a pretty tough week last week, which I'm recovering from. It's okay, but This trade, I had a lot of passion and a lot of motive in this trade, but during the trading process, it went horribly wrong. Now, you know me straight away. I like my 0.618 rules. I like my liquidity rules. I mention it frequently, but I look for a 0.618, a fib of a high and low. Obviously, this high kind of displaced above these highs. This is early on in the market. This is only the 1 minute, but we're starting to tap into this fair value gap. I want to take my entry here. I took it right under this candlestick, right under there, and I
Nice.
wanted to, I kind of wanted to strike higher liquidity. I thought I was really catching the bottom of this trend. We'd hit my price target 1. We'd hit my price target 2,
Mm.
and that was my kind of motive. I thought it was going to be a run day. I thought it was going to be another run day. We were going to break out from this range. So I made sure to make an entry before that happened.
Mm.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'll show you guys just a little bit on what happened. We kind of floated around this fair value gap a little bit. And I was looking, this fair value gap here, I got marked because I wanted it to invert. A lot of invert fair value gaps been going around here and there. So, you know what? I decided to try, shoot my shot a little bit
Mm.
with an invert fair value gap, which it did, and it worked.
Mm.
And
Beautiful.
here's the beauty of this trade. I was in, I
I think I
think,
already know where this is going.
3 contracts. 3 contracts. Yeah, 3 contracts. I had a feeling that this was a run day. I really thought this was a run day. And I was like, because we exploded so massively, I'm just gonna wait for PT2. I don't have to trim, right? Like
Mm.
as a very smart person. So what I did was I moved up my stop. I think that was a valid thing, which I moved
Yep,
up my
I like
stop,
that.
and then when PT1 hit, I had plenty of time to kind of trim my position. As soon as I saw this candlestick wick these lows, I thought it was gonna straight away break upwards. I thought we were gonna get the PT2. I didn't have to trim. I was super wrong, and I was super wrong because just I think 3 or 4 minutes afterwards, we were down at this stage. I was thinking again. I was drawing another fib. I was saying, oh, this is 0.618 as well. This potentially could be another entry. It did not. And it stopped me out for a little. It wasn't break even. I think I took like a 34% loss. But for 3 contracts, it was ridiculous. I was up a lot, and I wasn't responsible enough to trim my positions. One of the key skills that every trader needs to have is to know how to manage your open position. If you see any red flags that, show up in the market that you're not comfortable with, minimize your risk before it goes wrong. And in this instance, I really didn't do that. I just I kind of I had a feeling as all things started. I had a feeling on the market, but on a higher time frame, I thought this was, to be honest, I was expecting to hold this trade for like 20-30 minutes. To be honest, I really didn't think it was that it moved that quickly. But as soon as we kind of swept these highs here, I think that was the liquidity it went for.
Yep.
Before the draw sort of changed.
So,
And yeah, what do you think, Vijizel?
so, so this is interesting because like I actually really love this as an example. I'm gonna kill Discord, but oh yeah, I can't even close it. Thank you, Discord. This is unbelievable. Like, all right, whatever. Okay, so actually, it's funny because you did mention this trade before, and I sort of had an idea what it's going to do. And you mentioned like not taking a trim, but then you also
Yeah,
mentioned not taking risks off the table, but you did. So this is the funny thing: you didn't take a trim, but you did an appropriate reaction if you weren't going to take a trim when PT1 hits. Now it's not what I normally do because I'm probably like a money hungry grubber, I guess, in a way. But other people do like the other way to take risk off is move your stop up to essentially break even or a lot less. And the 3 to 4% stop, or is not that bad because we're going for like many percentages there.
Yeah.
Now, what I think the mistake is that for some reason in a obviously bearish trend, larger term bearish trend, you thought that after that we took out essential relatively a triple top, three relatively equal highs, that for some reason that we're just going to have the juice to just keep exploding upwards
Yeah.
in a longer term bearish trend. That was where I would say, okay, that's dumb because that's such a likely, essentially turtle soup entry where you could just start looking for shorts immediately once it's consolidating there. Yeah, that little fair value gap tap does sort of look like that. But what time of day is this?
This was this was the morning. I think this was, yeah, this was like roughly 40 minutes after market open
Wait. When you entered?
when I entered. Yeah, that's 40 minutes.
Okay, yeah. And then so when did it take those highs? What time did it
Took
take
those
those highs?
highs at 40 minutes. 40 minutes. No, 50. Excuse me. 50 minutes after market open.
So 10,
10:20.
10, 20. Yeah, which is the time of a macro, right? So macro, there's a 950 to 1010 where it'll start to like do something, and then often like there's like I think there's a 1020 1050 macro or something like that. I can't remember, but that like it could run to liquidity and then cause a directional change. I bet you from there on it just dumped for the rest of the day.
Oh, it did. Hold on. I'll zoom out a little bit. Here you go.
By the way, we need timestamps on this one, especially for the
Yeah, of course.
conciseness thing. That's our solution for the conciseness thing. But you see how sometimes trading like too early. That's why in the morning, if I'm engaging in trades like pre 9:30 or pre 10 o'clock, I trim for sure on the first PTs because it's sometimes possible that you're in the wrong way. And if you just look at the longer term bearish trend, you have to be, you did think it was a run day, so you played into that. But what made you think there was a run day, and then to be so confident you didn't trim, um, is more the question that I think would make this even somewhat of a trash trade. But to be honest, I don't even think it's a trash trade, bro.
I really think it. I mean,
I
I
think
I
you. I think
obviously
you wanted something
mismanaged.
else.
Yeah, I just
You no.
mismanaged.
I think you chose the option that we don't normally choose to reduce your risk. I think that moving your stop up, like maybe it should have been break even, maybe not. I just think you had the wrong idea for it, but you did minimize the risk, and you were just maybe a little greedy, or just were so convinced in your play that it was going to work without sort of looking at the other factors. Like, yeah, in that price action, I 100% would play longs there, but just go out one. Like, what are we looking at? Is this the 1 minute?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Okay, like go to the 15.
Here is the 15.
Okay, now zoom out a little bit. Like, okay, now when you're in that price action going into before that drop, does that look very bullish to you?
Honestly, I was doing. We had a run day yesterday. We kind of fell at like after pre-market. So I was drawing this fib right here,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking the exact same thing. We're kind of in this fair value gap, um, this fair value gap area here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that it was gonna reverse as soon as, and at times it definitely does hit the 0.786. I just tend to notice
Yeah.
on my fibs. So I thought I really got the best entry,
You know
the
what's
best entry.
I could see what you're saying there. The thing to me that's alarming there, and why I would be a little hesitant in longs until we started breaking highs again, is like just look on the way down into that fair value gap. I sort of can't see, right? But yeah, on the way in, we actually tap that fair value a couple times. We make lows and then we break them.
Yeah,
We keep making lows and then we keep breaking into it. That's not a good sign to me that that fair value gap is going to really hold. And then because we keep breaking these structural lows, technically we're on a downtrend, and like that fair value gap caused these initial bounces, but the bearish fair value gaps keep sending us down. And then yeah, if you zoom out more, then you look at the liquidity sweep, and you're like, that could power a pretty bearish move for those relatively equal lows. You see?
yeah. I definitely think that it was really mismanaged. Even if VJ, even if I had the wrong
Mhm.
bias, I had the right drawn liquidity. This PT1 has it was a PT that I definitely should have taken. It was
Yeah,
three relatively equal highs, or whatever you want to say. It can even be a
yep,
puckle for the Luca fans out there.
yeah.
But
The Luca
that's
fan.
the real and this candle with no wick. You already know liquidity secrets by your boy. But anyway,
Yeah,
it's I feel like this um
By Musty, the true inventor of the Luca tactic.
exactly. Oh, on the 15
Yeah,
minute. Look, I got one moving average on my chart. I was kind of experimenting, this and that. And it's the 20 SMA. Um,
man, bringing sex into it. Why do you have to talk about your experimenting times on the weekends? This is trade, man.
yeah, exactly. But
God, that was dry. Such a bad joke. Yo, but honestly, listen. I know that you wish you took your gains. I just remember that next time, that you prefer taking some gains than moving your stop up, because both of them are ways to take off risk. I think both of them there are like some traders would prefer one way or another, but you and me both personally seem to, based on your reaction, we prefer the trim because we
exactly.
could deal with moving the stop or whatever. And I agree, and would just rather have a small gain, and like we would probably with the trim would take at least a third, if not more. I honestly, on the first trim, I tend to take a lot off, and I just let the rest go, just in case
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
that's
So
honestly, if I have two take profits, I normally have around three cons, and I trim the first two on
yeah,
PT1, and I
yeah,
kind
that's
of
good.
have been doing that for a long time. I just feel I as soon as I started getting greedy, as soon as I wanted to take advantage of, like, really squeeze out the profits of this trade,
Yep,
it really just reflects on my
agreed.
mentality, because as soon as I have that mentality of trying to squeeze every last penny out of my trade, it's so clear and obvious
Well,
that something is gonna
that's
go
why
wrong.
both fear and greed have no space in trading. Like one thing that I sort of like every time I get a little bit tight with like an account, and I like want to protect the gains, like I'm getting closer to this goal. Like just be like, bro, you have way more money to make. Like this is nothing. Go. And just to shake it off. And it's the same thing with the greed things. Like, oh, I should take profits here, but what if we go more? Like those
Exactly. Yeah.
little demons like that are in us that like whatever. It's like your job is to take an excellent trade. In that case, like yeah, you chance like a small loser rather than taking some gains. Both you and me would prefer that less, but you tried another strategy and now you know you don't like to do it. Okay. But other than that, like you know, that trade, like, it's fine. It's okay. You learn from it. It's not the most trash trade, in my opinion. Just now, take the gains. You just deal with it next time. And the greed thing, like, it always ruins gains, as you can see there. That's an automatic trim for you. And if we're taking excellent trades, like, stuff like greed and fear prevent us from entering or exiting appropriately.
Yeah.
And then like fear often leads to FOMO or chasing because now it's moving. You're like, I want to be in. And then it does a bunch of, really random type of dancing for a little bit, which as it's happening, you can understand what's happening, but you had no idea that was going to happen on the way there. And then you have to hold through hell to maybe get there or just take a crazier stop hit and whatever. I was back testing, and even though a lot of my plays like tend up being wildly green, there's sometimes where if I'm completely on the because when you back test, like I'm doing the trading view premium, I'm clicking through, and sometimes if I'm doing it fast, like I'll go past where I want, and I'll be like, oh, I would have trimmed there, but we'll
Mm,
see how it goes, and then the play will fail. Even though the bias is right, it just will come back and hit the stop, and then it'll be ready to drop the next day.
yeah.
And
I
but if
got
I
you.
took the profit, it's like, oh, okay, that would have saved the position. Or I move my stop, you know what I'm saying? Instead, it gets killed because sometimes the timing element is accurate. You don't know, is it going to take these highs or lows, or is it going to paint a relatively equal high and low and short it and then leave it for later? You don't know. You have to assume you know, that it's going to do this or that, and like have some probabilistic hope and a whole reasoning for it. But you know, sometimes it could fail, and you have to accept that, like, okay, it doesn't want it now. It wants it. It's setting it up for later. It wants it even more later. But like, you know, those relatively equal lows on NQ that we're sort of aiming towards, everyone was so certain that they would break the last time, and then they just missed, and then they went
Yeah.
up like however many points, and then like every single time I see that, it's like, yeah, you know, we play for these things, we have high conviction, but we should also know when the failing is likely to happen and take trims at appropriate levels, because yeah, we might have a very good read on the price. We just really don't know when it wants to get there, and to just assume like, oh yeah, it's going to hit that particular TP. You know what, Luca? It probably will come at some point for that TP, but it just wasn't that day, and it might not be for months or years at the way that the economy's going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
that trade, man. I honestly don't think that you fumbled it that much. I think it's a very great lesson, because I think it's insightful that in order, like, you should take trims appropriately. Greed obviously kills, but like, you prefer in this, it's a personal lesson. You prefer taking some profit than reducing your loss,
But
which
here's
I
the
think
thing,
is fair.
VJ. I
Yeah.
mean, to a certain extent, it's fair. But you have to understand that I was in a red week going into this trade. I should,
Yes.
as soon as I start being greedy, it
Yeah.
really reflects the reason why I'm red that week. There's a
Mm.
reason why I resent this trade so much, and it's because I just needed to take the money that was on the table. I really
You just
didn't.
needed to trade it right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you just needed to trade it right.
I didn't even
You
need,
were
to be
greedy.
honest.
You were greedy because you were red. That's what you mean. That's what. Okay, I get it
Yeah,
now. You were
exactly.
greedy because you were red, not because you were so certain the TP was there. You were sort of certain of that, but any other time, if you weren't red, you would have taken profit
Um, that yeah, me being red for the week definitely plays a role, but
and not cutting. Yeah.
I really did need that much more profit, like just for this, like tiny leg. It's not, it's not worth it, and I don't know what in my mind happened where I just decided to hold, and I didn't take my profits off the table. But when something like this happens, I have to be disciplined just to take a good amount of risk off the table, no matter how much it runs, no matter if it'll blow past all PTs in a second. It's really about my discipline, and because it was a red week, like you said, BJ, I just decided to be greedy, and I just decided to
Okay. You
want
know
more
what?
money.
This is a trash trade.
This is a trust trade. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you're right.
Even
No, with that context, once you said I had a red week, I was thinking about my other results. I wasn't in this trade. I moved my stop up only because I knew in any other condition I would have really trimmed, but I just wanted some more money to make up some losses. That is some trash.
yeah, yeah, and
And I agree with you.
I'd argue that even like the discipline has to be there, no matter if it's a red day or not. If I was having a
Yes.
green week,
Yes.
I still shouldn't have taken.
Honestly, yeah, I agree with you. This is how I read it, okay? And this is why I was like sort of complimenting you. I read it that you were being so disciplined and so certain that the second TP was going to hit. They said, I will move my stop up because I have this much faith in the play. And that is my version of trimming, of reducing risk, which I said is perfectly acceptable. And then it failed. And I'm like, yeah, that's just a failed play. You were just being very disciplined to hold for your last PT. And then you clarified, no, I essentially would have taken that no matter what. That's a very small addition onto my gains, but I just wanted more money to be less red for the week, essentially. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, that is absolutely terrible.
and
I
and
agree. And that's why I'm like, oh, that's like, it's such a small mental reasoning and shift. And this is actually a good lesson. And we should like just, mention this before we go. Like, you could do the exact same actions, but if it's not in your game plan, or you didn't have it planned out, or your motivation or reasoning, your logic for it is flawed and will make you lose tremendously in the long run, then I went from thinking that this trade was perfectly fine, even, and Luca just didn't like it because he lost, to being like, oh, with that reasoning, if you keep doing that, it is not a winnable strategy. There's no way.
I'll even clarify even more for you, VJ. In that moment, again, this is something that every trader experiences, no matter if you're a beginner or super experienced, but you'll have that bit of guilt in the moment. I knew
Yeah.
in that moment I
Mm.
should have taken my profits. I was
Oh
looking
my
at it up
god.
here. I was like, should I take my profits? Should
Oh
I?
no. No.
I was thinking the right thing, VJ. I should have done it, but because I lacked the discipline at the time, the market is always, it's always impulsive to show that it's the boss. The market is
No,
the boss.
I view it almost in another way. The market reveals you for who you are at the time during the trade because it is just doing what it does. You are playing into it. And if you don't react appropriately when you're supposed to react, it essentially will be like, okay, well, I'm going to do what I do. You know what you're doing. You reacting appropriately, right? It's a check. It's essentially a mirror onto like, are you doing okay? And
Yeah,
that's why when like you're sort of fucking up or you're losing, you have to stop because essentially the market's like, you're not doing good, dude. It's not even has any thought about you. It's like, I'm doing the thing. Oh, you guys are studying me? You guys are figuring out how I move? Cool. Whatever. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You guys do what you do, man. Place your stops and place your orders. I'll be there. And then you win, and it's like, cool, man, for sure. Someone else lost. Doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit. And then you lose, and it's like, hey, I don't matter. It doesn't matter to me that you lost, but also like you did that.
yeah,
I'm not doing nothing. You're losing now all of a sudden. Like, whose fault is that? Not mine. I'm just doing what I do. You study me, buddy. You chasing me. You come to me. Why are you blaming me? I'm doing nothing. The door's open. You can leave. You can come. You stay here. And then you study me. And then you blame me. Nah. So it's a mirror to whoever is pressing the button. And in that case,
exactly.
yeah, you were just not you like that's funny because that's like what like 6 minutes where
I
you could have got
exactly.
out.
I thought I was really gonna spend a long like this. I was planning this trade to be like I said, like 20, 30 minutes. But no matter how good your bias is, no matter how good your trading is, if you lack the discipline or the mental control at that moment, the market is always quick to punish you. And it's clear in this chance right now. I knew I was doing something wrong. It was over my price target, and I didn't take any profits off the table because I didn't do that. And I knew at the time, I was thinking to myself, oh, I should take maybe. No, I'm gonna hold on full position. As soon as I let myself indulge in that, false reality, I really got humbled. No matter how good your TA is, the market will humble you so fast.
Yeah, no matter how good your TA is, your execution also has to be either
Perfect.
excellent or relatively good. Yeah, I mean, like your TA was good there to that spot. It gave you 6 minutes. You didn't have to have the best execution, but you had to execute on a relatively good level for what it is. Sometimes it does have to be perfect. There, it gave you all the time in the world. There, essentially, it was accumulating shorts real quick, broke structure. Look, inverted the fair value gap. There's a short entry right there.
Yeah.
Like, there's like, it's just like absolutely like and the thing is, if you weren't married to the play, you could have flipped and you could have sold in profit and then shorted.
I
But
mean, it,
instead,
it
you're
happened pretty quick. I feel like
no,
it.
yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, that's another thing that happens when you're married to the play. You don't see the other option that's going against you, and that's what when we talk about poker, when we play chess, it's the same type of thing. I'm like, you got to understand, like. My trading gets better when I think more how I can lose. What is it in this play that will tell me if I'm wrong? Where am I wrong? Before my stop gets hit, where am I wrong? What
Mhm.
has to happen if I'm wrong? What might happen here that could fuck me? What are the danger signs? Once that fair value get there inverts, it's done city. You might have even added like as on that other one right there. Once it inverts, it's like, oh, we're going to my entry. I gotta go.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a shitty situation, shitty trade, shitty
It's
everything, to
okay,
be
love.
honest. But you know,
It's okay, my man. We get better.
yeah, exactly.
I can see improvement. That's
I'm
not
learning.
bad.
I'm
Yeah,
learning. Um,
we all learning. I love it. It was a good trade idea. I don't think PT2 is risky, but trading against the thing, it went right to the fucking PT. It should have been an absolute banger.
and yeah, it's ridiculous how I can trade well and still lose. It just goes to show.
I do it all the time. That's how you know you're getting better though. Don't forget that -70 pointer.
Oh yeah.
We dragged people in with us. Remember, other people lost too.
Oh no, 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 no.
Yeah,
Oh my
remember
god.
there was that one one kid, he was in us. I think he lived in Sacramento or something. Took that loss with us. He laughed off
Uh
about it, but come on, man. When you laugh off the loss
oh,
and
this is
you know it's not good. I
it's so
know.
cringy. This is the cringiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What a perfect way.
We dragged some innocent dude into our shit trade. Bro, fuck.
Hey, I didn't. We barely do anything. It's a perfect way to end the fucking episode, though. You think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Anyway,
All right, let's run
yeah,
it.
we're gonna end it here. Again, socials is doing well. We really appreciate it. We really do. Hit us up for any submissions, any questions. If you even want to talk to us, you're like, oh hey, they're the guys from the show. We got our socials open for any DMs or whatever. Just hit us up, and we'd love the comments. We see Levi commenting. On socials
Does
we
he
get a lot of
comment?
people comment.
Levi the fucking ex. I love Levi.
Yeah, Levi the
Absolutely
fucking
roasted me on that last trade.
yeah.
He's still trying to find out his trash trade. We're looking for submissions, so feel free to send them in. Hit us up. We're out here.
Yeah,
We're out here. You probably see us on Twitter, just in the random comments of your favorite SMC ICT god. Is that
exactly,
on purpose? What type of marketing company did we hire for that?
exactly.
None of your business. None of your business. All right.
We hired a company called VJ Agency.
Yeah, I was gonna call the loopiest firm, the merger. All right, and don't forget, we shouted Musty out, so we gotta send him a little something.
Oh
so.
yeah, 100%.
All right,
But yeah,
though.
we're gonna leave it there. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, tune in next time.
All right, love y'all. Definitely, you're cutting that out. I already know.